this class, we will see about the Minikube and Kubectl commands. So I hope you are aware of what is Minikube and what is Kubectl. We have already discussed on these two topics in our previous classes. So let's start this particular class. Here I have the command example and the description. So we had so many commands, so we will see some of the commands in this today's session. So we are wasting time. Let's begin. Okay. So I have my Ubuntu machine running here. You can just open up the terminal with the shortcut that is Ctrl-Alt-T. Then just in case the size show that it will be visible to you.
Okay, that much is fine. Okay.
So now the very first command which we see is the Minikube start. Okay, so what does this basically command does? So as you were aware of what is Minikube? Minikube is a one node cluster which is having the master and the worker both included in the one. Okay, so basically it will start the cluster. Okay, so when you will do the Minikube start, it will take some time and then it will start. If you're running it the first time, okay, then it's fine. Actually, I'm also running it for the first time. So it takes usually some of the time. Okay, so we'll wait for it for the completion. Okay, so till then, let's see some of the commands, okay, which we have here. So here you can see with the first command that we have is the Minikube start. Here you can read the description and like what it does. It starts the local Kubernetes cluster using the Minikube, like we had already installed it. And then using the stop, it stops the Minikube and status. It will display the status of that particular cluster and then delete and all everything. Okay, so let's see. Here you can see we have cluster creator. Minikube has been started. Okay, so here we can see about further commands. Let's see if we do Minikube status now here. Why it's not running Minikube status. Okay, so here you can see the type is control plane, the host is running, kubelet is running, API server is running, configure. Okay, so here you can just see some of the terms like API server, kubelet. Okay, all these terms like what do you know about what API server is now? Like we have already discussed it. Like if we use API server to communicate with the cluster. Okay. So here you can see using the Minikube status command, you can check the status of the cluster. What's the current status? If you will do Minikube stop, so it will just stop the cluster if I do it. So let's see what it does. Here you can see powering off the Minikube. And also if you look at the table here, like we have delete, so it will delete the cluster. Okay, then we have IP, it will display the IP. And SSH. Okay, so let's do all those things. So here you can see Minikube is now stopped. If you will check for the status now, let's see what it shows. So you can see everything is stopped now. So again, to start the cluster, what you can do, you can just enter the command like Minikube start. It will again restart the cluster. Okay, like now it will not create the cluster. It will just restart the whatever the cluster which we had created just now with that command. Like this I was running first time, that's why it was creating the Docker container and everything like CPUs to memory, this material required, all those things. Okay. So here you can see now it's just restarting existing Docker container for Minikube. Okay. So here you can see it's done now. Now if you check the status, so you will get it's running perfectly fine. Everything is running. Okay. Now moving forward, let's check the Minikube IP command. Okay, so it displays the IP of that particular cluster. Like we use this IP for using some of the services like which we look in this particular class and further. Okay. So next we have is the let me check. Minikube SSH is there and delete is there, so we'll not use delete right now. Till then, let me show you SSH. So SSH is basically used to, it will connect to the virtual machine of that like Minikube. Like whenever you install the Minikube in your PC or in your Ubuntu machine, so at that time what happens, one VM is also created in that Minikube. So with Minikube SSH, you can connect to that particular VM. So here you can write any Linux command which we use. Like here you can see who am I. So here you can say it says Docker. If you do like, if you want to create some file like pop desktop tst. This is a test file. So it will, if you do ls, so here you can see the file has
been created. Okay, you can
little
read
file
file.
as well. So in this way, you can use the Docker. Okay, Docker is like Minikube SSH. So to exit, you can just write the exit command and you just log off. Okay, so you can use this Minikube SSH also to connect to the Docker VM. Okay, or actually it is used for the debugging and testing purpose as well. Okay, so moving forward, we have now we have covered all these Minikube commands. Let me move forward in the kubectl. Okay, so what is kubectl? Like we know that kubectl is the command line tool that we use to communicate with the cluster. Okay, so you can use the command like kubectl version. Okay, sorry, what it says. Command kubectl.
From snap kubectl snap info forward is the version.
Okay, let me
just check again. Just kubectl. Okay, fine. It's there. It's running.
I think there was some mistake in the command. Okay, version. Okay, leave it. You can use kubectl to get the cluster info using this command. So as you can see, you can get the cluster info, whatever the cluster is running, you can get the info. And also the important part here is that, like, for the running of the kubectl, your Minikube should also run. It's not like your Minikube is not running and then you're trying to run this kubectl command. So in that case, it will not work. Okay, we will check that. If I stop the Minikube, okay, it's stopping. And okay, let's wait. Okay, now when you will try kubectl cluster info, so in that case you can see you are getting so much of error, like the connection to the server was refused and all those things. So that's why we should have Minikube in the background. Okay, so Minikube is started again. Okay, so Minikube has been started here, you can see, and now we can use kubectl again. So now let's see the table and we will do the, we will run those particular commands. So here you can see kubectl get pods. And what it does, it retrieves information about Kubernetes resources like pods, deployments, and services. Okay, so here you can see many things we have. Okay, also we have this create command. Okay, so it just creates the new deployment for Nginx web server. So what we will do this one. So how we can do it? So for that we have to just clear the screen and let's run the command like kubectl create, and then we have the what we want to create, what service we want to create deployment, and then we can just write the name, like we can write the deployment name as the Nginx and the image which we want to use, like we want to image as Nginx. So here, if you are aware of the Docker, then that like that will be very helpful because the here image refers to that the Docker Hub images. Okay. So whatever the images you create and whatever the images you want to upload to the Docker Hub, and if you want to use those images, then you can use it from
this, like using this command. Okay.
So let's hit enter, and here you can see we have this Nginx created. If you will see for the kubectl get deployment. So here you can see we have Nginx. It's not ready yet. Okay. So it's not ready yet. And also we can check for the kubectl get pods. So here you can see one container has been created. Okay, container creating, like it's creating. So what happens whenever you are deploying any kind of resource, like any kind of whatever resources? Okay, so at that time what it basically is happening in the background, like we have learned about the Kubernetes architecture, like we have the pods, and inside pods we have container running, and so many things like replicas is created, and that replica is maintained by that the managers. Okay. So basically what happening is here, the same thing is here. Like when you are doing the deployment, then pods is creating, then the replica is also creating. So here when you use it by default without providing the replica, okay, so replica in the command. So what happens for that time? There basically only one replica is created. Okay, but when if you provide -, replica is equal to whatever the number, then at that time what will happen? That particular number of replicas will be created. So this is the basic overview of this command. Okay, so let me again check. So here you can see the pod is running, and you can check for deployment also. It's also ready. So now what we can do, we can just expose this deployment as a service. So what does it mean? So basically we want to use this, now Nginx servers, we want to use this Nginx server. How you do it? So for that also we had this kubectl export. It's like we have this in the table. You can check. Here you can see kubectl expose deployment Nginx type equal to node port. So here you can see what it does, creates a new node port service for a deployment named Nginx. So basically the node port service, it simply means like that exposes the ports of the deployment to the specified ports. Okay. So we'll define some of the port number, like here the 80 is provided, but basically what happens, like whenever you try to get the URL, at that time the cluster basically defines the port between the 13,000 to some 32,000 ports number, okay? So this is the basic thing. So let's just run this command, and then we will be able to use the Nginx servers from our web browser. So how we can do it? Expose the deployment, and then we need to provide the name of the deployment. The name of the deployment we have Nginx, okay, and then the type equal to node port. If we don't provide the port number, then also it's fine. It's not mandatory to define. So you can just hit enter. Oh, sorry, it's mandatory. I thought it's mandatory. Sorry for that. Okay, we define some port equal to 80. Okay, now service is exposed. And now you can check for the kubectl get services. Okay, oh sorry. Okay, so here you can see now this Nginx service has been created. Okay, and here port you can see this one. Okay, 80, 3543, all these things. And now for getting the URL, what you can do, Minikube service, and whatever the name is there, Nginx is there,
and hyphen
URL, it will give you that URL, and then you can access these things. So here you can see the port number which we're getting is 3543. Okay, so it basically what is happening, this review directory. Okay, so let's see where we go. Okay, here you have to just enter the URL. And here you can see the welcome to Nginx is the web page, 34 web page we are
getting.
Okay. So now just we will revert back to the things, like we will just remove the services, and then we will try to access the web pages. Then see whether we are able to access it or not, that Nginx web page. So to delete, the command is kubectl delete, and the resource and that is services, and then the name is Nginx. So here you can see Nginx is deleted. Again, we will come upon here. Let me reload it. So still we are able to access. Okay. So let me just again check. Okay, it is deleted. Now we will just delete the deployment. So how we can do it? Deployment. Okay, so deployment is also deleted. Now let's check. Okay, here you can see now we are not able to connect to that particular IP. So in this way you can use a multiple kubectl commands. Okay, we have so many like here. You can see kubectl logs and kubectl delete. We did delete right now. So let's check for the logs what it shows. Okay, log is that did you mean logs? Okay. So you can see expected what it's saying. If we do -h, okay, we are doing something wrong, I guess. Okay, kubectl all container logs in the box. Okay. If we do Control C and we do it this one, so as you can see, okay. Okay, let's see some of them, like what we have here. -C. Okay, so let's check the ports, what we have. Okay, we have deleted the only deployment, that's why we are not able to get the parts details. Okay. Got it. Okay, that's why you're not able to just to get this output of that, and we were waiting the others. Okay, so that's all for today's class, and I hope you liked it. If you have any query, you can ask us in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I'll meet you in the next class. Thank you.